streaming entered the market in a big way, certainly in Canada this year with the Monday Night Package show. What's your reaction to how they presented it?
There's going to be an increasing emphasis on telling stories, on using data, on having background access, because the way that we all consumed and continue to consume sports has changed from when we were younger people, not necessarily youngsters, want to consume it more on their terms, and they have a greater thirst for what I'll best describe as more. Mm-hmm. And so, and streaming has the capacity to provide more than linear, but linear continues to be important in terms of overall exposure. And our linear partners do a great job, and so do the streaming, to the extent we're being presented on streaming. Streaming is fascinating. I met a friend for dinner last night. I wanted to go early because of the times that we were going, and I was thinking about, okay, what restaurant we can go to would have a TV set. And then I said, we don't have to be governed by that. I'll just bring my iPad and I can watch the game anywhere. And so the ability to get what you want, when you want, where you want it has never been greater. And I think that's great for us and for all sports.
Are you concerned? I mean, the demographic for instance, the Amazon package in Canada, the demographic was outstanding. Yeah. Much younger group. Those are the cord cutters watch on streaming services.
And the cord nevers.
There are cord nevers now. That's right. I forgot. But that doesn't necessarily mean they're watching whole games. Does it concern you that people aren't watching whole games anymore? That's something that is of our generation.
I'm not sure that it's as difficult to attract viewing for the entire game as some might suggest. Particularly, I think it's less of a problem for us because of the speed and the intensity and the nonstop action, right? You get 60 minutes of action in our game. Some of the other sports, you get a whole lot less action in the same 2.5 hour, 3 hour window, depending on the sport. It all goes back to how compelling your content is. And I put our content, either from an entertainment standpoint or competitive balance standpoint, up against any product in sports, period, because I think the game's that good. And I think people who followed the game as long as you guys have were in the group that said last year and the year before, the hockey's never been better. And I think this year is no exception. I think compelling content will hold on to eyeballs longer than less compelling content. And our content, as I said, is fast, nonstop, emotional, entertaining. The drama builds. I mean, the other night, if you tuned out the Kings-Oilers game, you made a big mistake when it was 4-0. And I think that's what our game is being known for. It's unpredictability. We've either set a record or close to come from behind wins. I think that's great for the game, and it's great for the fan experience.
And it was also great for us in Vegas last night because it was 4-1 after 2 for the Wild, and we were able to lean in on that Oilers comeback, saying, "Hey, don't go anywhere." It happened the night before.
Our games are unpredictable. It's part of what makes our competitive balance so good and our entertainment quotient so strong.
Is that why you think that Rogers came back so strong with their new contract and their deal?
Oh, I would never be presumptuous to suggest why Rogers did anything other than I assume they wanted to keep the most important media property in Canada, right? That's what we are. I mean, at least every week we have the number one show on television. For the 2 months of the playoffs, we have the number one show every night. We are compelling product, People have analogized that we are to Canada what the NFL is to the United States. I'll take that comparison. And I'm delighted that Rogers, who has been a terrific partner and is going to continue to be a terrific partner, recognized the value in having us.
They're obviously going to sublicense. Do they have to get your permission to sublicense?
Well, it's whether or not they do the sublicensing or we do the sublicensing. We have an understanding as to how that works, but that'll be a collaborative process.
And can it be more than one sublicense?
Yeah, time will tell. As I said, whatever decisions ultimately get made will be collaborative.
And the other part of that is just curious. When the original deal came through, it was important not to euthanize Hockey Night in Canada as a brand. Will Hockey Night in Canada still exist on CBC, who own the name?
That's a question you really have to ask Colette Watson,
right. Yeah.
Because they're directly involved with that relationship. We don't have a direct relationship with the CBC, and there are a whole host of issues attendant to that. I don't think it's that simple, including what the future of the CBC is, depending possibly on who wins the election on April 28th, because we've heard a variety of views expressed in terms of what the role of the CBC should be going forward, separate and apart from hockey.